self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists. What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am Calamity Red.
And we are Conversation Con Artists, back for another episode. What I'm going to need y'all to do is go to www.conversationconartists.com. Check out our current episode, our past episodes, the articles that we have talking about this week, as well as leaving us some feedback through the mail link on the left side of the page. Hover over that and then sign up for our newsletter. Send us some emails, send us some feedback, any of that. You can find me on Twitter at MISTER_on point.
And I can be found at red_calamity. Also, we are still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question that you would like to send in for us to answer, you can send it in either through the website or you can send it to our Gmail account at conversationconartists@gmail.com. We have two questions today. The first one is a situational question, which is if you're dating somebody and he texts you when you had plans to go out and says, I honestly rather cook here for you and chill here. I'm broke right now. If I go out tonight, it'll hurt me in the long run tomorrow. If that's cool, then let me know what you have a taste for and I'll get on it. Was he wrong?
Wrong is the wrong way to ask that question. I guess the best way is, how would you feel about that as a woman? Because the reality is, every woman is going to react to that situation differently. Some women probably prefer that, and some women probably don't.
I mean, whether I would prefer it is going to depend on whether your ass could cook, but it's not anything I would get upset about. I mean, I would never want somebody to, like, fuck up the rest of their week or however long it is till they get paid again trying to take me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have, been happy that he was honest about his situation, because so many men get stuck on their pride and shit and don't want to admit when they struggling. So, I mean, I wouldn't have cared. I would have, whether or not I would have went would have depended on whether or not he could cook. Well, not even if I would have went. If he can't cook, I would have probably been like, let me just pick up some some pizza or some shit. We can still chill at the house, but you can't cook and I'm not trying to get food poisoning, so let me just get a pizza. But I wouldn't have got upset, and I don't think, how can you be wrong in being honest about what your situation is? And yeah, we had made plans, but shit, life happens. So
I think one of the problems, I don't think a man would have said I'm broke.
Nah.
So I think the emphasis on the question is the part about I'm broke. I think that's the part that the question is focusing on in how you should react to that situation.
Again, life happens. Like, I think that the expectation that you can struggle and other people can't, or you can struggle as a female and men can't, is bullshit and stupid. Again, I'm not gonna get upset. Like, maybe he had some unexpected shit to come up. Maybe he had to get a carburetor for his fucking, I don't know. Like, something could have happened to where the money that he thought he had allocated for, like, dates and shit, he had to dip into to fix some real shit. And, like, again, why would you get upset about that? Now, if this is a commonplace thing where he just doesn't budget well or whatever, that's different. But, like, when this is out of the norm for him and he just being honest, even if it's about him being broke, I don't see why the fuck you should care. Me personally. Like, I'm not gonna look at him any differently or feel any kind of way about that. Like, shit happens. Life happens. Being an adult blows sometimes. So
I think what happens in our society between men and women is that men are expected to be the providers and women are expected to be the nurturers. And that takes on many forms. It looks different in many ways. And in the current society, those roles are exchanged from time to time. But I think that a lot of women will have a problem with the idea that he broke. And I think this matters on, because if you're not that invested in that person, that might sound really bad. If we're dating for a while, I mean, it could still sound bad.
I don't know. Maybe I just don't care about stuff like that. So, like, even if we had only been out a couple of times. Again, I'm going to appreciate that you were honest with me. And I'm going to feel like, okay, so even when shit ain't perfect, I don't have to worry about you pretending. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, even if we had just met or, you know, we had only been out a couple of times, I just wouldn't get upset about that. Like, that just wouldn't phase how I have been feeling up to that point about you. And that's not going to make me be like, oh, well, he a broke ass and I just need to move on to the next person. Because, again, I know that shit happens, and I don't know what created this situation and where he is broke where he wasn't before, because we had made plans to go out. So obviously at the time that he made the plans to go out, maybe he wasn't broke. And then again, something happens, and that shit happen all the time. Like, again, maybe he needed a carburetor. I don't know.
Think that's where it goes into how long have we been dating, because that could be a strategy to get you to his house. If it's date number 2, you know, some women gonna be like, no, not going to your house, this early.
That's true.
It could be the truth, but there's other things that you got to consider in the situation. So it matters where you at along this continuum.
Yeah.
I mean, date 4 or 5 might be when a woman is comfortable, assuming that took a week each. You know what I'm saying? Like a month and about 5 weeks, a woman might be like, okay, I think I've judged your character a little bit. I've gotten to know some of your personality. I mean, if you done strategically put 5 weeks in to try something crazy, you can get these hands. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty
but
much.
It do matter where you at down that line.
I suppose.
Because for some women, if you do this in 9 months, you're gonna be like, some women just do care about the money part.
Yeah.
You know,
oh yeah, absolutely.
As men do.
Yeah.
You know, on all of these different things. But I wouldn't. How would I tell a woman
that you were broke?
I definitely wouldn't tell I was broke. I'm telling you that shit just for the purpose of the question. Ain't no man finna say I'm broke. It's one type of man that would, probably a man that believed that you would pay for it. You know what I'm saying? He would probably be like that, trying to test you to be like, let's see what she gonna go with her wallet.
Why wouldn't you say that you were broke? If you weren't asking, because the person in the question isn't asking for you to pay for anything, it's simply saying, hey, let me cook something here because I'm broke. Why would you not say that you were broke if you were broke?
Because I'm gonna politic the hell out that situation. I'm on public relations the hell out that hoe. I'm gonna be like, I'm not broke. Like my mama, she be like, you ain't broke, you just between blessings. Like that's a Christian public relations response to some bullshit anyway. They the same shit. Like it's the same situation.
Between blessings.
Yeah, like I be like, mama,
I'm going to totally use that the next time I'm broke. I'll be like, girl, I can't because I'm between my blessings right now. Catch me next week.
I had to hit my mama with those are synonymous situations. Like I applaud your optimism, your Christian optimism and looking at it differently, but I still can't afford shit however I look at it, you know? So for me, I wouldn't say that I'm broke. They don't need to know that I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? At the moment. And this depends on how far we in. If we a year in and she know my pay pattern, she know my financial pattern, she know all of the stuff about how I deal with money and spend money, it's different. Then I can explain something. If we early in this situation, it's gonna be spontaneous.
I guess.
Hey, I'm switching the game up on you. We coming to my spot. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna go here, but you know what? I want you to check out these skills. I'm gonna throw down in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna watch a movie, and that's how we gonna get it. Like I ain't going for the jugular on my situation. Why would I do that? That is last resort type thing. Now, if she is adamant, see, but that poses a situation because she might be like, but I really wanted to go to this restaurant. I really wanted to spend some time out of the house.
I heard about that. You know, they have this wonderful alligator, and I really wanted to try that, and I was looking forward to it. Then what you gonna do?
To be honest, me, if I was that broke, I wouldn't be setting up no dates. If I was really broke, I wouldn't be setting up no date expectations. Because clearly, if she have them kind of expectations, you done said, we going here, we going there. And why would I do that on the edge of I might be broke?
Well, it said that y'all had already made plans to go out. So he had made plans to take her out somewhere. But some shit happened, and now he can't. He's saying, let's just eat at the house. So y'all did make plans to go
I wouldn't be making them plans with a very stringent piece of money. Like, it's different if you got to get an engine, you know, and it costs you $1,500 to $2,000 plus labor $2,500. Now that's different, but I ain't making no plans in which they so expensive or so up there that the alternative is being at home and eating, because hell, eating at home and cooking ain't cheap.
It's not.
You kind of gotta cook already.
Yeah.
Like, my mom was like, you can come down here, you know, for the holidays last year and cook. And I said, Mama, I gotta bring all my pans, I gotta bring all my pots, I gotta cook. Like, you gotta already be cooking for that to be cost efficient, or you gonna have a hood ass ghetto ass meal. Ghetto gourmet.
That reminds me of that episode of Atlanta where Ern took his girl, whatever they are, because they're not really girlfriend and boyfriend, took her out to eat at that restaurant, and the waitress kept upselling them like, oh, what about this and what about that? Then the girl was like, oh, that sounds good, let's do that, let's get a drink.
Exactly. Like, why would I set myself up for that? That is too early for that. If we early on in the situation, it's too early. If we late on, I just don't know where this at. So for me, like, it depends on those variables. We'll probably have to be at the point where she don't quite know all my shit yet, but we've been hanging out and doing stuff enough, you know, but I'm still not comfortable enough letting you know that I ain't got it, because I'm not sure how you respond to that. I don't know where we're gonna be at.
This, like, I don't know, that a whole, like, I'm gonna show you my skin, like, that reminds me trying to do this online dating thing, and like where people won't be just say what they do for a living, but try to make it sound like instead of saying that they're a dishwasher, that, you know, they're like a fine china cleansing artist, and it's like, nigga, you wash dishes, that's okay, just say, because it's worse when you try to like make it into this like thing that it's not. Like, you wash dishes, that's what you do. Like, fine china cleansing artist, my ass, like, that's what you do. Like, so I get like that you run the risk of overselling. Maybe
I bare bones myself on them damn profiles. I ain't shit on them profiles. You know, not like I ain't shit, but the only thing I have is my dialogue, my conversation, and myself. I got a lot of other shit going on, but ain't nobody else gonna find this shit out for a while, you know, because, you know, the old people be like, the way you get them is the way you gotta keep them. If I start cooking a meal on day one, on day fucking 892, if I decide not to cook meals,
you been cooking meals.
Exactly. What bitch you cooking meals for now, huh? No, you gonna have to accept me for all the mediocre, average ass shit that I offer, and all that other shit's gonna have to be bonus perks and extra shit. Like, you gonna accept me for me first. You ain't gonna accept the version of me that cook and food with technology and can help you fix shit and can give you some advice and can give you some good conversation and dialogue and that can play a game with you and all the extra shit. That's perks. You gonna have to take this average ass mediocre version of me.
I do the opposite. I feel like, because I feel like I do a lot of stuff that like the average 30-something euro, like, maybe not, I don't know. You tell me. Like, I play video games. I feel like that's not something most women this age do. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I make sure that that's known, because I feel like that's a selling point for me.
That's different.
That's different from, and I'm gonna be willing to play video games. Like, well, maybe not, because, you know, I get in moods where I'm like, I don't want to do anything but watch King of the Hill. So I might not want to play video games. I might want to just sit on the couch and like not do shit.
And you know, that might be all right for that dude, because two people that play the hell out of video games ain't gonna have no kind of relationship. They ain't gonna be battling, or they gonna have to set up. I already got it in my head that whoever I'm gonna be in a serious relationship with for the long run, it's gonna be 2 TVs in every room. That's just what I believe. It's gonna be one set up on this wall and this wall, her watching whatever she watching, and me playing the game. And sometimes I'm gonna watch.
Have headphones. That's gonna be a loud ass fucking.
We'll
room.
work that out. We'll work that out. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I'm gonna watch what she watching, and sometimes she gonna play what I'm playing. But for the most part, ain't gonna be no I gotta fully commit to what you want to do all the time, and you gotta fully commit to what I want to do all the time. It ain't in my head. That's how my world gonna be. She can participate or not. I can participate or not, but ain't gonna be no. You never watch what I want to watch. No, but I'm in the room and we touching, and I'm looking at my screen and you looking at your screen, and our backs is kind of leaning on each other.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's just kind of the situation. So, and then this other spectrum of women that loathe the video games.
Which I don't understand how you could hate video games. Like, I understand you not understanding why somebody plays them as much as they do, but to just hate them, I don't. And maybe it's because I grew up in a household full of boys, and so I've been exposed to video games my entire life. But I just don't. There's nothing that like somebody does that I don't like or that I don't get that I hate. You know what I'm saying?
It's like they don't expect men to grow up. They think it's a kid thing, and when you grow up, you're supposed to grow out of playing games.
Some of these fucking video games, kids are not even capable of fucking playing. Uncharted.
Uncharted.
They're not.
I was online
games.
playing The Division with a 62-year-old. Seriously, telling us about his life. The party was me, a 32-year-old, him, 62, a 9th grader, and a 6th grader.
What the fuck?
And he kept
all different generations.
He kept referring to the 9th and the 6th grader as babies.
Oh no, you can't do that now.
I mean, they were cool about it. The 6th grader had a younger brother that kept running in saying stuff, and he was being a fucking young ass kid. We were trying to defeat groups of people that was really critical, and he was like, hey, I'm finna go to my menu and check on my color skins. Yeah, I got a new skin, I picked one up. And I was like, kid, get out of your menus and come and shoot people. We have spent money on this mission, we not about to waste it. And the old man was like, yeah, and the 9th grader was like, yeah, shut your little dumb ass up and play. You know, it was fun. But there are women who believe that, you know, you get a certain age, you're supposed to grow out of that shit. Me and her not gonna be in no relationship. Like, when I find, like, I will invite you to play the game early on. That is a prerequisite. If you be like, oh, I don't play games. All right, X. You know what I'm saying? X on your ass. It's a wrap.
I mean, like, okay, I know how I am, and I know that I go between, not even extremes, I go between like, hey, let's spend some time together, and hey, I'm just gonna sit over here by myself for a little bit. And so video games help me in that, because you're not gonna notice my absence if you playing fucking The Division. So I have no problem with video games because I know how I am, and I know that I'm a very, not even an individual person. I just like being because I've been by myself, I think, for so long that I just think I used to that shit. And so, like, I had a wedding to go to this weekend. Killed me. It killed me. It was, not that the wedding was terrible, just it was so much socialization, and I was just kind of like, I'm ready to go home and be with my dogs that are gonna play with each other and kind of leave me alone, and I could just like chill out and regain my like, I just can't take a whole shit ton of socialization. So games is my saving grace, because then I cannot be bothered for a little while. Like, you beat, you know, this hard level that you've been playing for 2 weeks. I don't know if games have those kind of levels anymore where it takes people that long to beat them, but
I just think this whole situation just goes into a lot of random expectations that different people have, and some women will accept, some women won't, you know. But my motto is honesty is the best policy. I mean, if at the end of the day I would know, see, I'm a worst case scenario thinker. If I had a little shred of money and I know my car been knocking for a little while, I ain't gonna be like, hey, we going out on the town, we finna go and we going to the best restaurant, boy, we finna try this shit. Because if that happens, I'm gonna be like, I don't set people up for expectations that I cannot deliver on. I'd rather be like, you know what, the next one gonna be on me. The next time we go out, I'm telling you, I'm gonna put some good shit together. Now, when good shit together time come, if I got the money, we gonna ball out of control. If I don't got the money, girl, home dinner. You know what I'm saying? Movies. I got selections. I got games. I got TV shows. We can have Chinese, but I cook, so it's gonna be a different situation for me. you know, so
but that's what I said. That's another variable, because what if you can't cook, or two, you can only cook shit. Like, I'm lactose intolerant, so you know, mac and cheese ain't gonna get it. I can't eat that shit. I don't want no mac and cheese. I don't eat mac and cheese unless you want to see me in pain for 2.5 hours. So it just depends. There are a lot of variables that go into whether or not that would work, but I don't know. I just don't care. Like, stuff like that does not bother me, and I wouldn't. Now thinking about if it's too early and you just trying to get me to your house type shit, I would care about that. Outside of that, though, I just don't care.
You know, they say that there are people who are math geniuses and who go on to such an elevated level of math that they can't remember a time when they didn't know little remedial mediocre math. That's how I feel with cooking. Like, to me, you should be able to fucking cook something. It ain't hard. It just takes patience and tools and a fucking recipe. You know, like, if you listen to this episode and you having trouble cooking, send me an email. I will help you understand how to create things that are delicious. It ain't hard. Like, I just don't think
his meals are delicious. I benefited from many a meal. Gained weight, actually, probably solely based on eating his food.
And she still does not know which of them have sugar in
why
them.
You fucking had to bring that up. Like, I was trying to forget about the fact that you put sugar in shit that it don't belong in.
Because I want you to know.
I don't want to think about it.
I want you to know that it exists, but not know where. That's what I want.
It's fucked up.
That's why I'm going to remind you constantly.
But what you have to keep in consideration is that there are men out there that don't believe that men should cook.
That what I finna say. Like, that's that ego pride bullshit.
There are men
like,
that don't feel like they should learn to cook, because they just gonna find a woman that's gonna cook all their meals for them, which is not gonna be me.
And that's gonna be another conflict for me. If I fuck around and run into a woman that believe that shit, and I want to be cooking, we gonna have a situation, because she gonna be like, wait a minute, what is my role then? If you're cooking half of the time, or if you're putting food on the table in terms of when I get back from work, what? You're taking away my, like, it's women out there who believe that shit too. I know it's a large feminist movement.
But there are still women that, there are.
And I think the feminist movement is supposed to represent a man not having the expectation and a rigid idea that a woman do that. I think that's what that part of the feminist movement represents. But there are women who just, that's what they going to do. And that's what they want to do. And they won't have a problem with it. They'll be happy with it. I'm going to have a problem with her. And so it's just so many variables when it comes to these relationship things that, I mean, I'll be able to work anything out with anybody, I feel. You know, as far as it comes to that shit. Yeah. The things I'm really going to have problems with is the ideological differences. As to where, for me right now, where I'm at with my faith, it's going to be very hard to find a woman that can be like, oh yeah, so you don't, I go to church, but you don't quite believe right now. No, she ain't gonna be like, I accept you.
Especially here in the Bible Belt.
Yeah, like that's gonna be this. So ideological differences is where it's gonna be really hard to compromise. I can compromise on that extra shit as far as cooking, as far as video games and TV and all of that extra shit, but I just still think that all of this dialogue represents differences in individuals. Different individuals are going to respond differently to this thing. But at the end of the day, be honest to me. Just be that type of honesty in that question is not something that you're going to find in a lot of men. If you got a man that will be honest with you even about unfavorable shit, then you need to find a way to deal with it, because that means that you're dealing with an honest person. And that means that they're going to be honest consistently.
Tell you look fat in that dress.
And then it's real honesty, because to be real with you, he could lie about that whole situation and you not know. He could be sick.
Yeah.
His mama could be going through something and, you know, y'all could not do nothing. You know, the fact that a man would say, I'm fucked up right now, that gotta be the truth.
Yeah.
Or that's a new type of liar that y'all need to fucking be afraid of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the other question was about the drop or the decline in the divorce rate and what we think that the cause of that is. Why are people not getting divorced as much? Now, from my perspective, and this is just from from my job and from, I've never been married, but I have friends that have been. I don't know that it's that people are getting along or communicating or seeking out therapy or anything anymore as much as it seems like people don't get divorced. They just like go their separate ways. They're still legally married, but they just, because I have at least 2 clients that are in situations like that, and I've had friends that have been separated for years before even getting divorced. Like, they just been living whole separate lives. So I don't know if it's that people are getting along any better, is that they just may not be. I don't know if divorce is more expensive. I didn't look up how much it costs as opposed to how much it used to cost, but a lot of people just don't bother with getting fucking divorced. Not to mention that divorce comes with settlements and people don't want to go through alimony and child support. And so, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I don't know. I don't know that the rate is indicative of like better relationships. So.
I got a different theory. I think that when we started realizing that divorce was on the increase, there was just a matter of time before that shit plateaued. I think that it's more like there was a finite amount of marriages in which people started getting divorced, and it started going down, and it just curved out. Everybody who want to be divorced now. And hell, everybody who wanted to stay married, even through the bullshit, still married. And they gonna keep divorcing, but it's just gonna be harder. It's like everybody who wanted to divorce and who would take the easy way out went on and did it. And now the only people that's left married is people who been sticking it in there, people who don't believe in divorce, people who gonna stay with that shit, and people who gonna be married until they fucking die. Well, until they mate die, then they gonna get remarried to somebody who they really wish they would have been with the past fucking 30 years. But I think that's what it is. I think it's just a matter of everybody who want to be divorced now, done divorced. You know? I mean, if we're talking about the last 15, 20 years where this shit really done came into the forefront, divorce really done came into the forefront, I think everybody who was like, oh shit, it's become more socially acceptable than even with my faith considered, so I'm finna do that shit. And then they do it because it's been normalized, and now everybody don't want to be divorced, just divorced. And now they ain't remarrying, or they just having partners, or they remarrying the person that they wish they would have been married with, and now they doing all right. You know? I mean, so I think that is kind of how that's playing out right now.
Maybe. I just know so many people.
We would have to look at the rate of divorce comparatively then and when it started versus now. If we're talking about when it first started, 5 people a week were getting divorced, and now 0.5 people getting divorced, then that would mean that the rate is different, which is what I think I'm speaking to. We would have to look at the rate. If we're just looking at the numbers, it could be a whole bunch of different variables that go into the numbers. Hell, divorce lawyers might have got expensive as shit over the last 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know like what the cost of a divorce, because and here's whenever I see situations where somebody's like, well, he's separated, I'm not finna date you. Like, for me, in my mind, the way that I look at this shit, since I've been an old enough adult where it's been like, you know, when you're in your 20s, you don't really have to worry about that shit too much. But late 20s, early 30s is when you get into situations where people might be married or have already been married or whatever the case may be. For me, in my mind, and the way that I approach situations, separated means we working on it. Divorce means it's over. So holler at me when it's over. I don't do the separated shit. Like, I just not gonna do that. My personal preference. Not finna do that. If you are indeed done with that person, that the divorce is what legally separates everything out, and there's nothing. I'm not going to date somebody that's like separated from their spouse still, because guess what? That is still their spouse.
So what if somebody that you met, which one would you rather have? The person is divorced, Would you rather have them tell you early on that they have been married before and they divorced, or would you rather that's something that they don't really talk about at first because it ain't particularly relevant, and then that you find out later, or that they tell you later? Like, is that one of those things you need to break for early or late?
Okay, so the way again this goes, I think online dating has fucked me up, but from my experience, I would rather find out later. And the reason why I say that is this: most of the time when that's the first thing somebody wants to talk about, it's still an open wound. Like, I don't want to date somebody that's still licking their wounds. And so if the first thing you want to do is tell me how shitty your wife was and how horrible your marriage was and how unhappy you were, like, you still haven't gotten past that. And honestly, considering what I do, I don't want to help you get through that, because that's what I do at work. I don't want to do that. I want to find somebody that's already crossed that bridge. I built the bridge and got over it and then moved on, and that just is like, oh, by the way, I was married, not anymore. There were no kids, or there were whatever. Now, if there are kids, you're going to probably find out earlier because you found out about the kid. Now, that I do want to know fucking up front about the kids. But if you were married, no children were produced from it, and you're divorced, I would feel better if it came up kind of organically instead of like, because again, my experience, people who talk about it at first and like go on about it's because they still, and I ain't got time for that. Like, I don't have time for you to still be dealing with whatever issues that relationship created for you that you need to process through. I ain't trying to do that. So for me, that's not a thing that I would need to know like up front, because that's not something that's gonna, I'm not gonna feel any kind. Now, if you've been married like 4-5 times, what the fuck's going on there? But
Commitment issues.
yeah, outside of that though, that your divorce isn't something that I like have to know up front. Kids, absolutely, because I need to decide if I want to deal with your babies or not, or how old they are. Are they old enough to be like, you ain't my mom? Like, I just need to know those things.
Yeah.
But divorce, that just can come up organically, and it'll come up eventually, But
yeah. I ain't got nothing else about it.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
what about you? Do you care if somebody tells you up front that they're divorced or not?
my concern as it pertains to women, I guess, is having kids. I don't really care if you divorced or not, but did that divorce leave you with some kids and a bit of husband and a bit of self that I gotta figure out what to do? Is the baby daddy crazy? Because I done heard some situations in this counseling world. Like,
yes.
I would not deal with you if your baby daddy crazy. Like, we could be having a good time, chilling. Your kid might like me. If I ever see your baby daddy out of somewhere, he try to beat my ass at the gas station, that shit will end the shit. You need to put a handle on that. Otherwise you just got them on in his lasso, and he gonna be fucking up your relationship the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You gonna have to ring that shit in.
Yeah.
At some point, because I can promise you, I would never be a threat to no kid. So a fucking baby daddy would be fucking gracious to have a nigga like me in there. But if he can't even accept that because he don't know, and he just got a problem with the general, another nigga raising my kids, then I'm out. Sorry. Holla. Peace.
Yeah, it's been some crazy, especially just in the Birmingham area in general. It's been some crazy domestic violence situations with exes, and ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not trying to die. I'm not trying to die. I'm sorry.
Because what if we get together, we chilling, we get married, he kill your ass. Now I got some kids that ain't even got my blood that done told me you ain't my daddy before. And I ain't gonna be able to do that. And like I said, I'm a worst case scenario thinker.
You are.
So I ain't going for that. I'm sorry. I ain't even going for the situation. I mean, I'm getting to the age where my level of intervention can't be at women that don't have kids, because I'm 32.
Yeah.
Unless I'm ready to date somebody young.
Yeah, I had to let that shit go too.
Which as a man I can do, and it'll still be okay.
I mean, I could do it, but why the fuck would I want to? I didn't like
women
dating
wouldn't
young.
do that. A lot of women who have whatever the opposite of daddy issues is that make you want younger people, because it's usually they want to date older men.
Yeah.
not younger.
Some like dating.
Some do. Some got
I ain't
that.
got time for that shit. I ain't like dating that age when I was that age. So like, the fuck I look like. Yeah, I had to let that go because most people have kids, and I feel like people who don't have kids at this point are like unicorns running around. And what the fuck are the odds of me finding a unicorn? So I had to let I still have a, like, one, if you have, I don't like multiple kids by multiple women because, again, that's a commitment fucking thing. Like, why you gotta have a baby with everybody you date? Like, what the fuck? If you don't take care of the kids that you got, that's a problem, because I'm not stupid enough to think I'm gonna be special. If you did it to her and her and her, guess what? You gonna do that shit to me when you get tired of my black ass. So now, if you don't take care of your kids, that's a problem. If you have like 5 or 6 kids, I'm not interested. I got 2 dogs and then your 5 kids, and I know that you a guy, so they're not gonna be over all the time, but they're gonna be over sometime, and they're gonna probably have an ad. I ain't got time. It's too much. That's too much commitment for me. I can't do that. So 1, 2 at the very max. And I don't really even like 2, but 2 kids is my limit. I can't do more than 2 kids. I don't care if you were married. You know, I'm sorry it didn't work out with you and your wife, but if y'all decided that y'all were gonna have 5 kids together, I don't know what to tell you, player. I can't do it.
Well, this is my thing. I have a lot of people in my circle that don't have kids. And so, from the skewed perception of my existence, damn, it's a lot of women and dudes that don't have kids. But in reality,
It's not that way at all.
I just don't gravitate towards people with kids. And so when I meet people that don't have kids, they become a part of my circle because that shit. So it's like it become a skewed existence for me.
Yes.
It's like it don't look like that shit around me, but it is. And the thing is, I don't hang around my cousin as much as I used to because the kids are always there.
Yeah.
And what I've learned as a therapist that work with a bunch of kids is I'm great around kids with fucking trauma. If your kids ain't fucked up, I don't even know what to do with them. I know that sounds backwards as hell, but it's just like I have a large set of skills to help people that need help. I don't have a large set of skills for people that don't need help, but I'm good with adults because I'm charismatic and I can talk and I can cater to. But when it comes to kids that ain't got problems, I don't know. Like, hey, you want some candy? Well, now I sound like a fucking creep that's trying to get you in the back of a fucking van. And then I'm using big words, and I'm like, I used the word on a kid the other day that was all kind of fucked up. Like, I just don't even. I'm too logical to work with kids, to deal with kids. I be using words, and then I gotta go to find that word, and then in the definition, it's a word that I shouldn't have used, and I'm like, I gotta be more careful with the words I use because I'm better with adults. One, I'm good with adults. I'm good with adults that need therapeutic help. I'm good with kids that need therapeutic help. And on the bottom of that totem pole is kids that don't need shit. Except good parenting. And I ain't your fucking mama or your daddy. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
I have the opposite experience, though, because everybody in my circle has kids because I'm socially awkward and I don't bring people into my circles very often. And so most of the people that are in my circle are people who've been there. And every female friend that I have met, no, with the exception of 2. With the exception of 2, every female friend that I have made between high school, college, and now got children. And so we don't get to hang out and do shit as much because they have kids. I ain't really down with hanging out with you and your kids because, like, I don't hang around kids very often. And so then when I do and they getting into shit, I'm irritated. You cool with it because this your life. This is not my life. And I'm just kind of like, why she won't fucking sit down? What is she doing? Stop that. Put the ketchup down. She got ketchup everywhere. Like, So that's why I look at people without kids as unicorns, because from my perspective, most people have kids in my circle. Like I said, because I'm weird and I don't know how to make friends as an adult. The only people that not even really, but kind of included are like the people that I work with now. And every single one of them is married with kids. I'm like the only single female person in the office that don't have no kids. So my worldview is a little different. Like our realities are the same, but our like views are different. Like our personal surrounding it's different. But yeah, I don't know. Anyhow, we just rambled on for so long with these questions.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a question that you would like to listen to us ramble on about, you can send it in through the website, or you can send it to the Gmail account at conversationconartists@gmail.com. And since we were talking about divorce, I guess I'll lead with J-Lo and Mark Anthony. So Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony were married. Don't remember what year because I didn't give a shit. But they had a set of twins. They were married for a while. I think 7 years, got divorced. J-Lo went on to be a cougar and was dating this young dancer. And Mark Anthony went on and got somebody his age and married her. I think maybe they had a kid. I don't fucking know. Anyhow, apparently J-Lo and Mark Anthony have been working together again on an album, and she presented him with some award here recently and was going on and on about what a special person he is and how wonderful he is and what a great father he is and blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, he filed for divorce from his current wife. And I don't know if it has anything to do with them working together or that they're about to get back together. I hope like fuck that's not the case, because I am a firm believer in if we break up, it's for a reason. And sometimes time makes you forget what that reason was. I'm not going to go back and date somebody that I've dated before and the shit didn't work out to the point where we didn't got a divorce. I'm not remarrying you. That's crazy. Like, I know people can change, and I know I might change over time, and I know you might change over time, and but I am not a go back kind of person. So I'm not gonna get back together with somebody because there's a reason why we didn't work the first time around. There's a reason why, and for me, that is going to be a substantial reason, because I'm not somebody that's going to like end something over some trivial shit. So if it ended for a good ass fucking reason. And so, no, we can co-parent. We might even be cool, because for the most part, I'm able to be cool with people that I date, because I'm the kind of person that I'm mad till I'm not mad no more. And then I'm never mad again. I don't give a shit about it anymore. So I'll come to your next wedding. Bring the kids, be fine. But we not getting back together no more. So I don't know if he's leaving his current wife to go back with J-Lo or not. That's kind of what it looks like, but what the fuck?
His wife might be crazy.
She might be.
He might have knew that when that kiss happened on TV, oh Lord Jesus, by the time this play, I need to be divorced. Because this bitch is coming. That might have been how it was.
Maybe.
Let me file these papers and get out of here. We finna leave the country for at least a year. J-Lo, your life is in danger. Children, your lives are in danger. Cause she coming.
You are such a worst case scenario person. Like, I did not even cross my mind that she might have been like insane, and so he has to save himself.
He might be in some Ben Affleck Gone Girl shit.
Oh shit, that bitch was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's possible.
That bitch in Gone Girl was out of her mind.
It's women in the hood that crazy. Yeah. Except they don't have the money to go on no binge across the country and do whatever. They just pour hot grits on your ass. I mean, that's what they do. They can afford grits and water in a pan.
Fuck your car. I don't know why people like to do that. Like, especially somebody that's like riding on them things. You fuck his car.
Because cars are a lot of men's prized possessions. Yeah. Like, I don't care about things like that. I don't. So that would never... You'll never be able to get at me with that.
Somebody would have to come and be like, "Oh, your food is disgusting. It's nasty. Had to choke it down."
Gotta go deeper than that. You gotta go. I accept differences in opinion about my food. I do. About a lot of shit. Like, what would you have to do?
I don't even know. Cause you're so.
It's a couple of folders on my computer you can come in and delete. I'm not talking about my porn. You can delete that. That's fine. I'm talking about like my poetry, my old schoolwork, all that other shit. I mean, if you were to delete that, I'll feel a certain way about that. That being said, all my shit for various reasons is in the cloud. So maybe I'll get mad that you had the audacity to do it and knew that what you could do to get to me and you did it anyway. Maybe I would, but otherwise,
I've never destroyed somebody's property. I just don't give it. I don't get that mad. Like, I get mad at people, absolutely, and I am the queen of giving you the silent treatment and acting like your ass don't exist, that I can do all day. But I ain't finna take, cause here's my thing. If you think I'm mad at you, so I'm gonna take the time out of my fucking day to come fuck with your shit, you out of your mind. If you think that I give that much of a fuck about you at this point, at the point that I'm that angry, I'm not finna waste my time fucking. I don't care what you do. You can go drive that car off the nearest bridge for all I give a shit. I'm not finna take time creeping around in 40-degree weather trying to key a car or slash them. I don't give a shit. Like, I've never been somebody to destroy property. I've never gotten that upset. I've never been in a physical fight. Like, I just don't get that mad about stuff. Like I said, I'm much more of a passive-aggressive type person, so I will just make you feel like you don't exist in my world anymore. That's pretty much it. I'm not finna, because anything else requires too much energy. And at the point that I'm that angry at you, you're not worth my energy in my mind. So I don't give a shit. I might ignore you.
But to go along with what you were saying, that's kind of my philosophy too. When you're in a relationship and you get out of it, all of the bad shit that happened, it subsides because your mind don't want to think about that shit. And all of the good shit just start glowing. You know what I'm saying? Just glowing like hell. And when you see that person, you'll be like, oh, this she glowing and shit. I remember, you know what I'm saying? We was having some good times. And then when you get into the situation, you realize this shit ain't what I thought it was. Cause she gonna slap your ass in the back of the head and you be like, I remember you doing this shit
last time.
Oh, wait, you know what I'm saying?
That's why.
And then you gonna have relationship PTSD. That shit come back on your ass. And then he gonna forget to pick her up and she gonna be like, I remember why this undependent motherfucker. I remember why we got broke up this time anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then it turned into a situation where, you know, you realize that the reason that you broke up are still here.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And as far as me, I'm such a worst case scenario thinker that at the point that we have a dialogue about breaking up, then if there was not a scenario that I can think of in which we can make it better together, I just don't see it being no way that we can put the situation together apart. Like my past relationship, we just grew parallel. We didn't grow apart, but we didn't go together. And at the point in time that we sat down and had a conversation, I didn't know how we could start growing together. And so in my mind, it was best that we just go our separate ways. And so I'm not going to take the risk of trying to jump back into that situation with the same dilemma that we had that separated us from the jump.
Yeah.
That just don't,
it
don't
doesn't
make
sense. Like, I've never understood why people go back and forth. But I ain't finna do, if we break up again, because I know me and I know that I am not a trivial person, at the point that I agree that we don't need to be together no more, there was a serious enough reason or a valid enough reason for that. And I'm not going to ignore that because some time has passed and you might have maybe got your shit together. Because I don't know what that looked like behind this, and I'm not going to find out. So once we broken up, that's it. We're not getting back together. I have never redated somebody, and I'm not gonna. It's just, for what? Now, that doesn't mean, like I said, we could be friends. I rarely have situations where I am unable to be friends with people that I date. And it's really because I'm the kind of person that I'm mad when I'm mad, and I'm over it when I'm over it. And I don't give a shit no more after that. And so we can be pals. Not gonna matter to me.
I be telling people I feel like I can get any job that I've ever had back in any relationship I've ever had back if I tried and wanted to. Now, I don't think that's true, and it's a very cocky thing to say, but I just wanted to represent how strongly I try not to burn bridges and how connected I try to stay to people, even when we, you know, have to go our separate ways for whatever reason. You know, I haven't ended a relationship bad. You know, I mean, bad shit have happened to lead to the demise of the relationship, but it was not one that created a situation where I couldn't be your friend. I couldn't continue to talk to you. I couldn't answer your phone calls. I couldn't call you if I might have needed something. I ain't never experienced that.
And every time I tell people that, I feel like people will believe that about you before they'll believe that about me. And it's simply because I think that people get so used to women being so emotionally driven. And it's not that I'm emotionless. And it may be because of what I do for a living. Again, when I'm mad, I'm mad. And once I'm over it, I'm over it. Now, what that means, though, is, and there have been people that have found this out, once I'm not mad anymore, I'm also no longer interested. And so that's another reason why we would never be able to redate, because like you just kind of become undateable in my mind. And as far as my emotions are concerned, like I just don't care ever again. It's just the way it works. You in when you in, and you out when you out. So, but every time I tell people that, I don't think they buy it as much as they would buy it from you, because I think that it's a lot more believable that men are able to be detached from situations than women are, which is bullshit. But
you got a fucking gang relationship mentality. Do you jump your dudes in too? Do you whoop their ass? And do you use weapons?
I do not.
Like, if you in, you in. If you out, your ass is out.
That's what it is.
Death.
It's like there's a switch. When the switch go off, that shit is off. There's like padlocks and number locks and fucking safes, and it's like Fort Knox in this bitch. You can't ever touch the switch again. Never goes back on. It's just how it is. Now, that might not be the most healthy things.
It's not healthy if another man walk into all them locks and switches and shit.
No. Everybody has a fair chance at the switch being on. Now, if you fuck it up and it goes off, that's when the locks and shit come on. But it's never that way for like whoever comes in after the fact. But yeah, no, it's just how that works.
I got you.
So.
So Pence went to go see Hamilton.
This bitch.
Now, if you listen to the episode in which I was talking about how much I love Hamilton, Hamilton is amazing. I would listen to every single bit of history if it was written and sung like Hamilton. I mean, Alexander Hamilton just happened to be a fucking exemplary motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But I would listen to all the history like that. I mean, I don't want to hear no shit about no slaves and all of that shit. Like, anybody else in history that they would have done this about, it wouldn't have been as positive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the point that Alexander Hamilton was trying to eradicate slavery and everybody else was trying to keep it, like, it ain't gonna be that many great motherfuckers like that. But I love Hamilton. It's hard to get tickets to it to see. Yeah. But if you got Spotify or Apple Music or any of those, you should listen to the soundtrack. It's a great story. It's like hip hopper. It's like a little bit of rap, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of jazz, just a bunch of different styles telling the story of Alexander Hamilton. Love that shit. Pence went to go see it.
Might I just take a sidebar here to ask why the fuck he went to go see Hamilton in the first place?
Why not?
He don't really seem like he would be interested in that story, but okay.
I mean, he might like Broadway, you know.
It's plenty of other Broadway shows he could have went to besides Hamilton.
But listen, at the end of the day, that shit is about the founding fathers, because it's got George Washington in it, John Adams, James Madison, Aaron Burr, Thomas Jefferson. It got all of those founding fathers in it. So I mean,
but with a hip hop influence. Like, Pence just don't seem like the kind of motherfucker to be
but going 5 stars is 5 stars. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
Yeah, maybe Pence don't like that part, but I don't think that a lot of people would avoid a top-rated Broadway because it's got a certain theme they don't like.
A lot of people also would want to electrocute people to get the gay out of them, but Pence does. But I digress. Go on.
Anyway, they started booing the shit out of him when he got there. These are the fans and people, just because America is fucking sad right now and confused.
Because Satan and his fucking minions are gonna be running the country
potentially.
For 4 years.
It might not play out that way.
Have you seen the motherfuckers he's putting in his cabinet?
I see.
Neither here nor there.
Listen, I'm still not preparing for hell to exist tomorrow.
Well, I am.
I'm not
getting my holy water together.
I deal with hell when hell is here. Right now, I'm hoping that hell ain't gonna happen.
See, you gonna be that person that don't believe the zombie apocalypse is gonna happen and you gonna get eaten and then I'm gonna have to shoot you.
See, you used the wrong example because I'm already prepared for the zombie apocalypse. You fucking up. You gotta come with something else. Fucking demon and angel war. Not prepared for that shit. I'm prepared like hell for the zombie apocalypse. I just want to let you know that.
I get your point. Track. Okay,
but that's the wrong one.
I keep getting this off track. I'm sorry. It's just they're the women. Go on.
Listen, for whatever reason, clearly Hamilton. To your point, Hamilton, the reason he got booed is because it's likely a whole bunch of people that value diversity, a whole bunch of people that like hip hop, and a whole bunch of people that don't fuck with white haired demons like Pence. So, but they got booed. That's beside the point. He came in to see the show. The point is, Hamilton, the creator of Hamilton, created a monologue for Pence. After the show ended, they asked Pence to stay, which he obliged. He stayed, and they talked about being the diverse group of people in that show that are afraid that his administration and Trump's administration won't represent them fully. And they were hoping that him seeing this show will help him see the value of that diversity that will help him more fully represent the people. Pence listened. Pence thanked them. Pence left. All right, big deal. But a lot of people came out talking about boycotting Hamilton. And Donald Trump came out and said, Hamilton, y'all owe Pence an apology. That was rude.
First of all, they're not the ones that fucking booed him. It was the people who went to Hamilton that did.
And I don't think that's what he was. I don't think that's what he was even referencing.
Them doing the monologue.
I think the monologue is what he was referencing.
What the fuck they need to apologize for that for? What was wrong with that? This is what I'm talking about. Satan and his minions. Do you see?
Satan is worse than Trump. If he real?
Is he worse than Trump?
If
maybe
he is real,
doing his business through Trump, or maybe Trump's an ally. There's Satanists out here, you know.
There are Satanists out here, but they ain't Satan. Like the Satan that's in the Bible and the Satan that's on paper.
Well, listen.
That ain't Trump.
So if God can you manifest into a burning bush, Satan can manifest as Trump and Pence and whoever else he wants. Maybe they're possessed. I don't know, but they're Satan and the minion, or maybe they're just minions of Satan. Would that make you feel better if I said that they were minions of Satan and not Satan himself?
No.
Why can't they be minions?
Because I don't want them to be.
But they are.
That's subjective. Like saying that's your perspective.
That is like you saying you don't want it to be cold outside, so you go outside in some shorts and a tank top and some flip flops.
You
right
have
now.
no evidence that they are Satan's minions. This is a subjective opinion.
You don't have evidence that they're not the minions either.
I don't have to. You are making the extreme assertion here.
Extreme?
Yes, they are people.
Are they?
They are people that have horrible interests.
Like Satan.
But to call them Satan.
I said his minions. Pawns of Satan.
If Donald Trump was Satan, he could be doing so much shit right now.
How you know that ain't what's to come? Maybe this is the beginning of the end.
Because until we see it, it ain't happening.
Doesn't mean that I shouldn't be prepared for it. You like to live your life based on worst case scenarios. Satan's minions is my worst case scenario.
You on that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence bullshit.
Yep.
That's what you on.
I am.
But that ain't what it is right now. Now, when hell start happening, I will come to your house.
I don't want to have to say I told you so.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You sitting here saying, you just said what I've been saying the whole time. I don't want this to be the situation.
But I still feel like it is. They didn't have nothing to apologize
then
for.
Why would you say I don't want to have to say I told you so? You should just be preparing to say I told you so.
I don't want this to be the beginning of the end. Makes me sad that we're living in the last days.
You can't have pessimism and optimism in the same situation. You got to choose one.
It's how I live my life.
You got to choose one.
I'm in the gray. Life is about gray. This is my gray. Stuck between wanting it to not be true and being positive that it is true.
Positive is very strong.
Well, it's where I'm at. But anyhow, they don't have nothing to apologize for, and Trump's just an asshole, and Pence is too, and they're minions of Satan.
It's just representative of the silencing of these groups. Like, because essentially what Trump saying apologize means is because that was the most rational, the most well thought out, the most educated group of people that could have said this to an important person of power. And he basically said, you shouldn't have said that. Now, I think a part of it is that he thinks that it was the wrong venue, but that would really mean
the fuck else are they gonna get an opportunity?
Well, what I'm saying is that would, in order for us to be like that's the venue, we would have had to see you listen to anybody in any venue in that situation. So the fact that you ain't listening to nobody about these particular issues and these particular concerns of Americans, like those people are Americans. You know, it's regardless of the group that Donald Trump is putting together up there that is terrifying, they are still supposed to represent everybody in America. And that's the part that I don't know if Donald Trump got. You know, President Obama and the Democrats might not fully represent corporate interests and pro-lifers and those things fully, but he ain't taking nothing away in the context of how you believe what you believe, as to where that Republican group tries to take access to things away. They're trying to take access to abortions away for people who want to choose that about their bodies. You know, they are taking the decisions and options away from people when you overturn allowing transgender students to go in certain bathrooms. You're taking things away from people that exist in America as Americans. And if you're not even willing to listen to a profoundly educated, awesome, amazing group of people who are intelligently saying, we're just concerned and we just want y'all to consider our concerns, and we hope that you do. If you can't even say that shit, where the fuck can you say it? When can you say it? How can a group of people address those concerns?
And the concerns are valid when you are putting ex-members of the Klan, Jeff Sessions is going to be the Attorney General. Jeff Sessions, who was so fucking racist, and those who don't live in Alabama may not know who I'm talking about, but he's just another of Satan's minions. Yes, that's what they are from now on. In my mind, Satan's minions.
Tomato, nigga.
Jeff Sessions was so racist that they wouldn't even let him do a federal judgeship. Like, they kept him from being able to do that. When that level of racism has to be acknowledged in a place where it's not acknowledged often, you are a terrible person. He has decided to make Jeff Sessions Attorney General.
So for the sake of the few people that I've had dialogue with on Facebook about Jeff Sessions, I don't know enough about Jeff Sessions. I've got to go back and see what his racial history looked like to inform myself more about this decision. But it's people that I've met that have defended Jeff Sessions as a decision. They white, of course.
And there are people who defend Trump and everything he's doing right now. So that don't mean shit to me.
I'm objective enough to still do my research, so I know about Jeff Sessions what I know. You know what I'm saying? The problem is he is 69 years old. Every 69-year-old in America is going to have some kind of racial something, okay? Because if you talk about him being 69, he was likely just leaving high school when that integration and shit happened. And you know what? When you look at the pictures, when you look at the videos, it was 5 motherfuckers in a high school of 500 walking with the black people, holding the black people hand. And Jeff Sessions likely wasn't one of them.
Hell no.
He was likely somebody that was against it. Like, there have been enough racial situations in the history of our country that shows that people of certain ages, they had opinions and thoughts on those things at the time that they were happening. And history shows that not many liked it. Most people, especially when you talk about white people that were having things removed from them and having these group of people that they have been conditioned to not feel a certain way about, now you got to mingle with them. People react to that in a certain way. I ain't saying Jeff Sessions is racist. I'm saying that he is of the age in which he is likely to have some racial predispositions about his life. And that don't mean he can't change. I was having this same argument about Hillary Clinton when I was talking about Hillary Clinton. And for me, I gotta be fair. If I was saying that, hey, 20 years ago, mass incarceration legislation was supported by Hillary Clinton that turned into bullshit for black people, how do we know that she's still racist today? You know, if I'm going to be fair, I have to ask that about everybody.
You know, Jeff Sessions was the person that said that when Donald Trump did the whole grab him by the vagina thing, he was like, well, that's not rape culture. Or we can't know what he meant by that.
I mean,
he was defending that.
But that goes into misogyny and sexism. But if racism is the reason that we ain't.
Racism is the reason that he didn't get the judgeship, the federal judge, why he was turned down multiple times for it. Racism. Like, it wasn't sexism, it was racism.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's not. I just got to do my research. I don't know enough about him
to
speak about him right now.
Fuck Trump.
But I got to now. I mean, I know about Bannon. I don't know if he's the CEO or just the head editor or whatever it is of Breitbart, the alt-right website. So I don't know. It might be Steve Bannon, something Bannon, but to your point, it's about to hurt every fiber of my being to say this right now. But hold on, what's his name? Steve Bannon, who is Donald Trump's political advisor, quoted in their recent interview, Dick Cheney, Darth Vader, Satan, that's power. It only helps us when liberals gets it wrong, when they're blind to who we are and what we're doing.
Who is power?
Listen.
Wait, no. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly.
You did.
Who is power?
Satan.
Oh, Satan. Okay.
I knew of this story when I was defending my position earlier. This ain't nothing. This don't change shit. I want to let you know. It don't change a damn thing.
But whatever. Okay.
We gonna see. I hope I get to come tell you I told your ass in 4 years.
Hellfire and brimstone start falling from the sky.
Well, ain't no point of getting past the fucking Donald Trump presidency and everybody die from fucking fire and brimstone. That's bullshit.
Well, they didn't die in the Bible from it, did they?
Why wouldn't they?
It destroyed.
If it rained fire and brimstone, you think we just gonna be able to fucking?
Maybe you can dodge it if the brimstone's big enough.
Well, they also didn't have vehicles and gas stations and gas tanks and tankers driving all around the interstates. They didn't have that shit back then neither. You could just go get up under a fucking big ass in a cave and survive that shit. Today, all our shit gonna burn down.
Well, just don't.
It had rain here in 2 months. All our forest gonna fucking burn up like a goddamn match top. It's just gonna foof. We dead. We dead in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay. I want to let you know that we not gonna survive that shit.
I still say it's millions, but whatever. That's what I'm sticking with. Here for it.
But I got to do more research on this shit. I want to get out of politics, but I want to be informed to the level that I can confidently say, no, fuck Jeff Sessions. You know, I understand your perspective. You know.
Okay.
But fuck him.
So this still doesn't go to the point of racism, but it does to homophobia. So I have a friend, you know this friend, who is homosexual and has a husband that was in the military and was fired. And it wasn't outrightly said that it was because he was gay. It was understood that it was because he was gay. They wrote the legislator about this unfair firing and got a personal letter, and he still has that letter and is trying to decide whether or not he wants to post it. He still has this letter, a personal letter from Jeff Sessions that basically told them to go fuck themselves. Like that he didn't believe that they deserved that right, that he basically should have been fired and he wasn't going to do anything to help them. This was not like a form letter. This was a personalized letter from Jeff Sessions. And he still has it. He kept it. He's a fuck boy, but you do your research and you let me know. But I'm sure you're going to feel like he's on board with the Satan's minions after you do.
I mean, don't get me wrong. My fuck you meter is really, really ready to say fuck you Jeff Sessions just based on the context. I used to be a fucking context clue champion when I was a little kid. You didn't have to tell me much about the situation. The context given told me a lot of what I needed to hear. The context of him being surrounded by the people that he's being surrounded by is telling me that he real close to being on the fuck you list. You know? But before I can say fuck you, for the sake of the people I know that might be listening who have been supporting this motherfucker, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
We gonna see. Don't expect it to turn up nothing positive.
I know it's not going to.
And with those friends, we just have perceptual differences about life. We just look at the world differently. I look at the world through my black skin, and they look at the world through their white skin.
See, here's the problem. And I had this same problem during the whole election, and this is why I don't have any Trump supporters on my timeline, because this is how I feel. I respect everybody's right to their own opinion. I would never tell somebody what they need to feel, how they need to feel, what they need to believe. But that being said, I do get to decide who I surround myself with. And I am not comfortable surrounding myself with somebody that can give support to somebody that does not respect two very large parts of who I am as a person. I am a female. I am an African American. I don't know how you can say, honestly, that you're friends with me yet support someone who says fuck those two very parts, those very large parts of who I am. And so for me, I can't be friends, not because I feel like you shouldn't believe that. It's just the fact that you do believe that, for me, makes me uncomfortable about where I stand with you. Because I feel like you're one of those people that would be like, but you're not those kind of black people. Like, you're not that kind. Like, I would be like separate from the race as a whole. So for me, again, never would tell anybody how to feel, but what I found through this whole election period is that for me, it's just, I don't see how you could support him and then still say you respect me as a person, because he doesn't respect me. Two very big parts of who I am, but you support him. So I don't know. For me, I don't have Trump or Jeff Sessions supporters that are in my circle of friends because I don't trust them.
And the thing is, I don't really, my perspective is, you are my friend for a particular reason, a specific reason. We're connected for something. And I kept you a part of my life for other various reasons. It wasn't because of your politics. It wasn't because of your profession. It wasn't because of nothing of that other shit that we're finding in society that we're discovering about other people. And there is a line that you can get on that makes me challenge whether keeping you around is worth it based on what our past connection was and how valuable you are to my life versus how much you take away from my life now with opinions that I don't agree with. But at the end of the day, differing opinions still sharpens the mind. It still helps either reinforce shit you already believe or expand what you believe and how you believe it.
And I agree with that. I mean, I don't surround myself with yes people. You and I don't agree all the time on things, but we agree on the things that matter to me. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not that I feel like you have to agree with me all the time, but these kinds of things, like putting support behind somebody that has said the things that they've said, and then you want to challenge and support or argue again. Like, I'm not, no. So it's not that you have to agree with me all the time. I welcome, I love a good debate. Not on these issues though. Like, for me, again, I don't see how you can respect me and support him and what he wants to do. The things that he's going to do that are going to affect my life. Like, you can say all day that you care about me as a person, but you don't care what happens to me if you support him and the things that he said could have a trickle down effect on me and people that look like me. I can't get with that personally. That's just my own opinion and how I decided to go about it.
And a lot of this goes into our differing personalities. I feel like when it comes to a lot of things and in comparison to a lot of people, I'm willing to deal with much more vast extremes. Yeah. Just because I have a higher tolerance for fuckery and bullshit in people. I
have a very low tolerance.
And I'm really impartial to a lot of shit. Like, it just not much shit bothers me. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen Wolverine X-Men 3? Like, of the original series?
The movie. What's the name of the movie? Because I don't know what X-Men 3 is.
The one where Jean Grey turned to the Phoenix.
Yes, I have seen
and
that one.
Wolverine had to go kill her ass.
Yes.
I feel like I'm Wolverine in that instance. In a lot of these situations, I'm the only one that can get to the bullshit just because it don't fuck with me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why that scene just popped up in my head, but it's like nobody else was gonna be able to get to her, and his skin was peeling off and shit while he was trying to go and take care of her. I feel like compared to a lot of people, I can jump in that shit and still come out like, okay, whatever, without being upset and frustrated to a certain degree.
But again, that's my switch thing. I don't get upset or frustrated. I just cut you the fuck off because I'm not gonna try to change your opinion because your opinion is your own. And I feel like politics, religion are two things that people feel very strongly about and rarely change their opinions on. If that's how you feel, great. You have a right to feel that way. I have a right to be friends with who I want to be friends with, though. I have a right to feel how I feel about your opinion. So I don't get upset. None of the people that I'm no longer friends, like we ain't have like a huge falling out and fuck you and none of that. Just, okay, I see where you stand and that's cool and everything, but you won't be invited to my non-wedding and, my reception because I'm not having a wedding.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, it's important to me to discern people who are ignorant and could listen to somebody who give a different perspective versus somebody who they just gonna be that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you are a person that can be in the trenches, maybe helping other people see a different perspective, then why not? And that's just kind of my perspective. And you know what? At the end of the day, I don't even know if I'm getting shit out of it. It might not change nobody's shit, but it might. But at least I can be down there doing it. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Facebook is I can be done whenever the fuck I get ready. I can just end that conversation or just not reply back or just be finished, So it ain't like I'm walking into a Klan meeting being like, my life depends on this shit. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna die or not, but
would not suggest doing that. They'd probably shoot you on sight.
Yeah. Fucked up.
Yeah. Well, sticking with the reign of politics, the only other thing that I have is Kanye West. Two things about him. I would like to start with the political part to get that out of the way. So Kanye did not vote, but he came out and said that had he voted, it would have been for Donald Trump, and that he feels like black people need to just get past this racial shit because it's us that are creating an environment where the racial shit still matters. Not that I'm surprised. It's Kanye. I know what you're going to say on point. I know you're going to tell me that he lives in the land of unicorns, the top hats, the monocles. I know. Yes. I know that's where you're going. I know. I already know. Here's the issue. Trump came back out and was like, Kanye West is good with me. I would never say anything bad about him because he loves the Trump, and anybody that loves the Trump is okay in my book. So since he said nice things about me, never would I say anything against him, which is how kids, again, Donald Trump just reminds me so many characteristics of his are toddler like. That's what toddlers do. She said something nice to me, and so I'm gonna say something nice back to her. Doesn't matter whether or not I like them or not, because toddlers don't have the ability to discern those different things yet. But because he said something nice, he's good in my book. Kanye West could be out here a serial killer for all fucking Donald Trump know, but it don't matter because he said something nice. So he's a good guy.
He left himself a window, though. Donald Trump left himself a window.
How did he leave a window?
Because he said, I only talk shit about people who talk shit about me.
Oh. So if he ever talked shit about him.
Because let's not act like Kanye wasn't on TV talking about George Bush hate black people.
Which takes us back to the black people need to let racial shit go. Motherfucker, you got on national TV and fucking said that the president of the United States of America at the time don't give a shit about black people because of what was going on in the world, in our country at that time. We do that shit, and because you just decided that you're going to endorse this fuckboy, this minion of Satan, then we need to let go of the racial shit. Are you fucking kidding me, Kanye? The fuck out of here. You did this.
There is a big variable, though.
I know.
This is pre-Donda Kanye. Pre-Donda West Kanye.
Yeah.
We're talking about post-Donda West Kanye, which we know how he became from 808s and Heartbreaks.
Yeah.
He was all kinds. His career has been weird as fuck after that.
Yeah.
And he got a cult following that will make him continue to stay relevant, continue to stay popular. But for those of us who ain't cult followers of Kanye, we can see bullshit when bullshit is present.
And even his followers, which leads me into my next point about Kanye, because he's just been doing a lot of fuckboy shit here lately. Kanye had a concert, was at the concert, did a couple of songs, went into another rant, because this is the second time he's done a rant about Jay-Z and Beyonce, and how Beyonce said that, you know, she wanted to win some award over him. And so the whole point of doing this music shit is to win awards. We can be friends and I could still want to beat you and get the award, but okay. And how Jay-Z had called him and just little bullshit. Like, Kanye, they not here. What are you doing? Like, so maybe they won't take his calls, and so he feel like this is the only way it's gonna get back to them what he's saying. Not really sure. But after he goes on this rant that ain't got shit to do with why I paid all of this motherfucking money for these concert tickets, he decided to end the show early and not do all the songs that he was supposed to do and not give these people their money's worth because he was in his feelings about some motherfuckers who weren't even present. I ain't got nothing to do with Jay-Z and Beyonce. What I do have something to do with is the price that I paid for this ticket, and it was not for 2 songs and a rant. Nah. Not okay.
Man, I wouldn't answer the phone if Kanye West called me right now. As intrigued as I'd be to see what it was about, I would assume it would be about some bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I heard you been talking shit about me on podcasts. I'm sending assassins after you. I'm suing you for all the things you got. We coming to take your car and your family away. I just would expect it to be some bullshit. Like, under what context, and especially at this point, would Jay-Z believe that Kanye calling him would be a good conversation?
Yeah, I'm sure they're not paying his fucking ass no attention at all. I'm sure that is the case, and that probably is why he's deciding to do this at concert.
They probably got a fucking iPad, and Jay-Z sitting on the couch saying, "Babe, come watch this. Come look at this nigga." And they smoking blunts rolled in $100 bills. And they sitting on a couch that's embedded with money. Like, instead of having cotton and shit on the inside, it's got money. Just $100 bills. Like, that's what Beyonce and Jay-Z doing. They don't give a fuck.
No, they don't. But that's the problem. They don't give a fuck. Yet you shitting on the people who do give a shit about you. That did pay their money to see you. That didn't pay to come and see you do a couple of songs and do a rant and get in your feelings and end the show early. And I don't even know if they're going to get their money back. I doubt it.
Well, they need to be on that fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah, hey,
fool me twice, shame on you shit.
I wouldn't have never paid no tickets for no fucking Kanye West tickets at this point. So would never have been me.
What happened with them Janet Jackson tickets? Do you know what happened? Did they get refunds yet, or everybody still waiting on that fucking second date show?
I don't know.
See? I would never fucking pay for another one of your shows
Hell
again.
No.
Right now, it should be common knowledge. Don't pay for no goddamn Lauryn Hill show. Don't pay for no goddamn Janet Jackson show. And it should be don't pay for no fucking Kanye West show. Right. Because it's unpredictable. Yep. You don't know what's finna happen.
You're right. And
just don't.
I would like to take this time out to say fuck Kim Kardashian West. Not because she's a Kardashian, not because I think she be doing a lot of whole shit, not because I think that she just came up off of a fucking porn tape and has no discernible skills.
Even though all of those have been reasons.
Yes. Have been in the past. Presently, I'm not saying that because of that. Presently, I'm saying this because I think she's a shit wife. I can't really speak. I don't think she's the greatest mother off of what I've seen, but I ain't there all the time, so I can't really speak to that. But as far as a wife is concerned, because let me tell you something. If I wouldn't have been married to Kanye West, but if I was married to a regular person who started having an unraveling that was very obviously something wrong with him, I would be doing everything in my power to make sure that he was good. I would not let him be out here making a fool of himself. I would not, like, even if that meant, okay, you know what? Until you decide that you want to get some help, me and the kids, we not doing this. I'm not gonna, because I don't even know how he is at home with them. I could just imagine that it ain't because when you start unraveling, you can't control that shit. So to say, well, he wouldn't be that way around the kids, you can't say that, because somebody that's mentally unstable as he seems to be right now, you don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. So at the very least, I would have been like, you know what? Until you can get your life together, until you decide that you want to get some help, because I'm here. I'm not leaving you. I'm leaving this situation. I'm taking the kids. Like, I would be doing everything that I could, because obviously you can't make him get help. He has to choose it. I would be doing everything in my power to create a situation in which he would try. But instead of just like being out here doing what the fuck she's doing. Like,
I don't think we have an appropriate gauge for the situation because she ain't no regular wife.
I mean,
they probably see each other for a week every 2 months.
But if that, but
like,
the very idea of her saying, "Hey, I'm taking the kids, I'm leaving our house," like, it don't matter if we see each other all the time. As a man, you're gonna know your family isn't accessible for when you do want to see us because we've left. Because I can't take this. You got some shit going on. You need to like. There are things that she could do even in, because there's been other celebrities that have had mental health issues that have had breakdowns. Catherine Zeta-Jones, for example, where the family had to step in and be like, "Bitch, you need some help because what the fuck is going on with you?" There are ways in which she could do this within their realm of how they live their life that would be different, obviously, from what I would do if I had a husband that was unraveling. But I just honestly don't feel like Kim give a shit. As long as he's selling out these concerts, it don't matter if he get the people what they want. It don't matter if he starts to alienate his fans. As long as he's bringing in this money and doing what it is that she needs him to do, I just don't think she care. It don't seem like she care. Because she's still, her and the whole family still be speaking like, I mean, they ain't got to get in the media and shit on him, but you also don't need to be in the media like singing this nigga's praises when we all been seeing that he is unraveling like a motherfucker. Like, he can't even control himself. He used to be able to do it a little bit as far as like the music was concerned. He can't even do that now.
I don't know.
He headed for a breakdown. I really feel like at some point he just gonna crack. I feel like that's where he's headed. I feel like it's been happening since his mom died, and it's been like a slow progression to this point where he is about to, like, I just think he gonna have a breakdown.
If we hadn't seen cracked Kanye yet, then I don't know what the fuck he gonna possibly do.
Exactly.
Probably
that's
fucking
scary.
find a way to destroy the earth. Like Pinky and the Brain ass motherfucker.
Well, he might get in good with Trump and get them nuclear codes and shit. I don't know.
Ain't no telling.
But I don't know. I hate to see that, one, because I really do feel like it all started with his mom dying, and that part, my heart goes out to him. It really does. And I feel like everybody in his life that would have been like, "Yo, you need to get some help," I feel like he done separated himself from those people and surrounded himself with a bunch of yes men that are just gonna do whatever the fuck Kanye want them to do, with a wife who gonna do the same, and her fuck ass family who gonna do the same. And we're just slowly watching the decline of Kanye. And I hate that. I feel bad for him. As a mental health worker, I feel bad for him, because when he does hit that bottom, he gonna hit it hard as a motherfucker, I feel like. And I don't know if he's surrounded by the people he needs to be surrounded with in order for him to get back out once he hit the bottom. I just don't know.
Well, I don't really care enough.
Well, damn.
my instinct is to defend Kim Kardashian, but I don't care enough. I don't care enough. If I cared a little bit more, I might defend her from your ass.
Fuck that bitch. You know how I feel about Kim and the whole lot.
I
Fuck
know.
all of them bitches.
I know.
Ugh.
But like, if you had a client that was doing all she could to preserve her family and her marriage, not saying that Kim is doing all she could, but got at a crossroads and didn't know what the fuck to do with a man that she clearly won't be able to influence, but it's still connected through either finances or through children or through whatever was going
on. Being with somebody that's abusive, but because of all of those reasons, you should just stay because you connected to that person. If he is becoming unhealthy and unstable, once again, it ain't a safe environment for y'all, because when he crack, it ain't necessarily gonna be on stage. It might not be when he doing an interview. It might be one of them quiet nights when he's there with them and the kids, and he's having a particular bad time missing his mom, or whatever the fuck the case may be. For me, like I said, I really do think that Kanye is mentally like unstable.
But working with that client, we can't just say leave.
No, we can't say leave. But I also wouldn't. I would be pointing out to her the things that she's telling me. You've said this, you've said that. He's had all this trouble at work. What conclusion can you draw from that? Like, I can't tell her to leave, But I can show her what her options is because now Kim know what her fucking options is. She choosing to do this.
But we don't even know if that's what she experiencing.
So you think that Kanye doing all of this crazy shit on stage and stuff, but that he cool when he at the house with her, or that he act regular and he just leave this strictly to the stage where he make his money at?
No, what I'm saying is 1 week out of every 2 months, he might come home and be able to muster up 6 good days and one knowing that they ain't gonna see you for 2 weeks or 2 months. I don't think that it's up. I come home at 6 o'clock, my day over, and this is how our day look. I don't think that's how it is.
But even when he's there, even if he is there for 6 on and 6 off, I don't know. I don't believe at this point it's 6 good days. I don't know how it possibly could be when he doing shit like this. Like, this is work. Like, Kanye is consistently getting worse. Like, this shit he wasn't doing, 3-4 months ago. Like, he's progressively getting worse. And so even if he was in a mind frame where he was able to kind of control it, the more that you unravel, the harder it is to control whatever he got going on.
It's hard, but it's possible.
It's possible, but I just don't think
it's the situation where it's the opposite, where you unravel at home, but you maintain at work. It's some people that at work that never know that you're going through shit. But it's just you spend so much time at both of those. And with Kanye, he spends so much time on the stage and so much time around them people. That's where he gonna unravel. I'm not saying he don't unravel at home. I'm just saying it's just a whole bunch of variables about the situation.
What you do know about Kimberly, do you think that even if he was unraveling at home, that she would do shit about it?
No, the same way most women wouldn't, especially if they don't spend that much time with him, until it became a fucking problem. Like if she came out this bitch looking like Rihanna one day after Chris Brown treatment, I bet she'll be doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like if there was some noticeable thing that we saw that he did.
Even that, like, I think you're saying that in the way that I feel like that's how she lived her whole life, right? You want to present this whole little thing to the world type shit. Like, I just think that there are things that she could be doing that she's not doing, and I think she's not doing them because she don't want to do them because she don't care. Kanye affords her a lifestyle, more of a because she did have money on her own, but now she got Kanye's money as well. She got 2 of his kids. He ain't around. So if he is out here doing fuck shit, he ain't doing it around me. I don't care. Yeah, he on stage making a fool of himself, but he's still getting them checks. We're still getting these checks. Me and Saint and North were able to go to Paris and stay in Paris for 2 weeks and then fly to wherever the fuck. And yes, my husband is unraveling before the world, but my life hasn't changed because of it. My situation hasn't changed because of it because he ain't ever around, so it don't matter.
I don't think that's exclusive to Kim. I think that's exclusive to women in that context that's going through bullshit. There's a lot of women that deal with a lot of shit from a lot of men with a lot of power. As we hear about all of these women who has dated celebrities, who was doing bullshit, who they still stay connected to them for a bunch of reasons.
A lot of them don't have shit. Like, if to leave means that I don't get nothing, I'm leaving everything. Kim ain't in that situation. Kim comes from her own little fucking dynasty or whatever the fuck they got going on. This isn't a cheerleader who like was able to snag a basketball player and he started doing fuck shit, but now I done got used to this life, and if I don't have him, I won't have this life, so I'm just gonna deal with it type shit. Kim couldn't tell it. Her life would not change that drastically if she were to walk away from Kanye. It's not like she don't have her own money at all. Like, it ain't quite that situation with her. Like, she got her own shit, and we all know that she's just gonna bounce to the next person like her sister has done with Tristan, whatever the fuck his name is. She got rid of Omar. Is it Omar?
Lamar Odom.
Where I get Omar from? I put Lamar and Odom
together. Yeah.
Lamar Odom, and she just got her a younger, more stable version of him and just moved the fuck on. And Kim will do the same thing, I feel like, when the time comes. Because she can. She don't need Kanye. She doesn't need him. This isn't a keeping the lifestyle type of a situation. She will still have this lifestyle. She will still travel. She would still have minks. She would still, like, all of those things that she's doing now. when this ends, and I feel like eventually it will, she's still gonna have those things. Like, she's always had those things when she's broke up relationships in the past with famous people.
I think that makes your point weirder.
Why?
Because she don't have to stay. She don't have to be in that situation. Like, she don't have to be in that. I feel like,
but it's not.
She's not held hostage by all of that shit. So she could go if she wanted to.
But she don't want to because she don't care. My point is, it doesn't seem like she cares about. That's her husband. My whole point is, this is your husband. This is your spouse. This is the man that you decided that you were going to marry and have this lavish ass wedding and all of this shit. It's not even, it's about whether or not he has a spouse that gives a fuck about him and all of this that's going on. Because yeah, she can leave, but she's deciding to stay and not do nothing.
We have to, but if she was doing something, would we ever even know?
I feel like
if right now she was living with her mama, we wouldn't know.
Wouldn't we? Because you think
I'm talking about outside of the cameras. If she was staying with somebody, like if she was doing something, we wouldn't know. They wouldn't let us know.
Why wouldn't they let us know? They love attention, media attention. That's what I'm saying. Yes, they would. Think about this family. Like, Rob and his fucking girlfriend having all these dumbass fights and breaking, all of that was put out for the world to see. Like, what moment of theirs has ever been private? Like, ever? Why would this be different? Why would this be different than anything else in their life? If she was struggling, if she was having to separate from Kanye, why would they not like do what they always do with every other situation, with Kylie, with
let's say that was the case. Let's say that was the case and Kim herself didn't want that shit to come out.
I don't know that she got a saying, because her mama seemed like she run everything.
If she just wanted to call her mom and say, well, we going to this destination and we just gonna stay here for a while because we like it, Kanye coming to tour up here or something like that, and just not really be connected to Kanye. Like, if they didn't want us to know about this shit, if Kim didn't want people to know about that shit, it's possible to happen.
It could, but I just don't think it would be a scenario in which she wouldn't want people to know about it. Because again, history, and I don't know what their current situation are, but the history of her, this family, and him, and that whole situation, everything is always put out front for everybody to see. The good, the bad, the ugly. This is how they make their living, is by putting their life out there for people to judge, because their whole thing is any publicity is good publicity. So I don't know why this would be different than anything else that has ever happened in their life. They've always put everything out there, whether it's her sister having all of these babies by somebody who didn't want her, or that breakup that they had after she had 3 of his kids, and then they just decided that, like, everything that happens in their family, Bruce becoming Caitlyn, nothing. They put everything out there. I just don't know why this would be different. This ain't even the worst thing that's happened in this family. Like, why would this be different? I just don't understand why this would be. When she broke up with the fucking basketball player after being with his ass for 72, like, everything else has been, even when after she had the kids, it didn't change. She posted naked on Instagram. Like, everything is for public consumption because this is how they make their money. I don't know why this would be different.
If everything is for public consumption, and this could be another thing that's for public consumption, the fact that it's not happening, if you believe that they're the media and attention whores that they are, would indicate to me that maybe there's not a problem.
Maybe what's not a problem?
Maybe there is not a problem that's worth addressing that will bring that media attention. If you believe that everything they've been doing to bring media attention, then maybe it's not there.
But what would there be to say? Like, this ain't... It would be more media attention to say, oh my God, because people are wondering how she feels about all of this, right? That would be what the thing, not to say Kanye is fine and he's good or whatever the case may be. Like, the way to get the media attention would be for her to do what I'm saying that she's not doing. To say, oh, we're worried, we're concerned, they're not doing that. I don't think she cares. I don't think she cares about him. And he just gonna unravel, and when he does, she gonna move on like she always do. He's not a priority or a concern. He's just there. She can spend his money while they're together. He done gave her these 2 kids. And he just in the background until he ain't no more. It just don't seem like he, like, anybody, not even just her, again, because it seemed like everybody who say something to him becomes an enemy of his because he ain't ready to address it or whatever the case. He surrounds himself by the people who gonna like co-sign his bullshit. So everybody in his life, he's doing that. Like nobody is like, everybody that's around him now seems like they people who just don't really care. Kanye making money for us. It ain't a big enough of a problem yet where we're like impacted by it. So we're not gonna step in until it is. Until that day when he does like lose his shit at a concert, more so than he's already done. Or he blows up the world or blows up another country. Not the world, because then we really couldn't give a fuck about it either, I guess. But until that day comes where he does something like really, really huge, it just seems like everybody's just content to just let him unravel. And I just think that's sad. And I don't even like him like that, but I just don't like watching people unravel. It's just sad. And the potential that he had is just...
I don't know. It's only so much you can do when a motherfucker's unraveling.
That's true.
From whatever perspective you at, whether you they mama, they child, they daddy, they brother, they sister, when a motherfucker is really unraveling for shit that's internal, I mean, goddamn, it ain't really that much you can do. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to him every day. You can have a conversation with him. You can have an intervention with him. You can do a lot of different shit. But at the end of the day, none of that shit might work. And you can remove yourself from the equation, but that shit ain't easy. I mean, we see it on paper being easy for Kim Kardashian, but that's under the premise that she don't give a fuck. They ain't that connected, and that, you know, she just with Kanye, you know, for the loop, or for the attention. You know, that's just under those assumptions. Because if any of those assumptions are not true, then it's a lot more that goes into it than those particular situations. Those all got to be true.
But I feel like they are. So those are the assumptions that I'm making. So
yeah, so they all have to be true for your perspective to be what it is. But I just don't give enough of a fuck to think about it any more than this.
I just, like I said, I just feel bad for him because watching it is kind of painful. Every time I hear something, it's just like, oh my God, he just getting worse. Like, he's getting worse. It's not getting better. He is gradually getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm just waiting for that, whatever the last little piece, that last little crack. I'm waiting for that because it's coming. It's absolutely coming.
To me, this just shit coming from a grief-stricken narcissist. Like, any grief-stricken narcissist be on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just on a bunch of random, isolated ass bullshit that just keep getting worse and worse and weirder. You know what I mean?
Do you think that it's gonna come to a head, or is this just gonna be his norm from now on? It's just him on some weird bullshit that gets worse and worse.
It's been his norm. This has been what he been doing his whole career, even before his mama died.
But it wasn't this bad.
It wasn't this bad, but
and it wasn't this often. Like, he is constantly in the news for some bullshit.
What I'm saying, he's been narcissistically unpredictable his whole career.
Yeah, absolutely.
After his mom died, it's happened more.
Yeah.
But it's happening consistently. It's like it ain't.
You don't think it's happening at a higher rate now? That it hasn't increased?
No, he do about 3 or 4 big things a year. We can go look. He do about 3 or 4 big things a year since his mama died. Probably starting with that Taylor Swift shit. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 or 4 big things a year. That's it. He's still releasing his albums. He's still doing his concerts. But he got a new beef with somebody where he talking shit about him. You know, he have a new situation going on in which he done said something that he meant but was stupid to say.
Has he been disrupting concerts? Like, the fact that he just ended, like, now, he ended the concert when Kim got robbed. I gave him, like, whatever. But this shit, you just, fuck y'all money. Doesn't matter. End the concert.
I mean, this just number 2 for the 2016. That's just 2 of them things he did for 2016. Last year was something different. The year before that, it was something different. Next year's gonna be something even different. We ain't even talking about this period of time where he's still putting out homeless folks' clothes, acting like it's goddamn affordable for regular people. Like, Kanye West is consistently doing bullshit. I don't think it done got that much more. I just think that it's starting to be different contexts in which he doing it, in which we seeing it. And it's going to continue to be different situations in different contexts. I mean, I hope it's not trickling over into his kids' shit. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I guess I would rather Kim be disconnected enough to where she could get away from him if she just wanted to. I really would prefer that than to prefer
narcissists. I mean, that has an impact on the kid. Why would it not have an impact on his kids? Like, it has an impact with every other narcissist that has kids. Like, why would he be different? Why would you think that it wouldn't be trickling over
if he only
into the
does
kids?
six, like in my head,
he don't ever see his kids.
In my head, she raising his kids.
Or the
nanny. Her family raising
the nanny.
The nanny, yeah. In my head, even when he there, he gon' in his head feel like he need to spend most of his time with Kim. So I mean, I just don't think he gonna have that big of an impression on his kids as dad, rather than Kanye West. He gonna have a bigger impression on his kids as Kanye West than he do his dad.
Okay, we'll see.
That's what I think. I don't think we ever gonna see.
Why? But the kids gotta get older. Why would we not see?
The same way we don't know what the fuck Michael Jackson kids is doing. Like, they don't want to be known.
But again, I don't know that the kids are gonna have that option considering the family that they're in. This ain't Michael Jackson's kids where the family is respectable and saying, hey, we're not gonna put the kids out there. If they don't want to be out there, we not. That's what Chris does. Like, why would she do this differently with her kids? And why would Kim do it differently when that's what was done to her?
But this is the last thing I'm gonna say. In my Google search under Google Cards, for some fucking stupid ass reason, it keep updating me on the fucking Kardashian TV episodes for the last month. I ain't searched that shit.
Are you sure?
Maybe I signed into one of your damn devices and you searching some damn Kardashians.
I don't search Kardashian shit. Everything that I know about these motherfuckers is because of my timeline. I do not search shit. Don't have to.
Well, let me tell you something. The last 4 episodes of they shit has rated under a 3 out of 10.
Really?
Yes. This shit say 2.8.
That's surprising. So
it's
maybe
more fucking surprising that this shit coming up on my Google Cards. But what I'm saying is this shit ain't gonna last that long. This shit ain't gonna last that long. It's only gonna be so long that E deal with these kind of fucking ratings. So either some Kanye shit gonna have to boost these ratings up, or this show ain't gonna last long enough for them damn fucking kids to be teenagers.
I mean, Chris, I feel like Chris has some tricks up her sleeve.
Chris gonna die. When she die, I mean, she old.
She not gonna die before the kids are teens.
How old is she?
Chris is like maybe in her 50s. She not that damn old. She's gonna be alive. She gonna be around when the kids get to be teen and when they're going into teen. I don't know why I think
she so old.
I
feel like she was like 68 or 69.
I don't think so. I don't think she is. I don't think she that old. I don't think she's Trump old.
Probably not. Shit, I want to look it up now.
That's so fucking hilarious that's in your... See, now it's going to really keep being in there. Go on, look up Chris.
Sure did. No, I'm going to change that shit on Google Cards. You can change that shit.
How old is she?
I don't know. Hold on.
Oh.
Wikipedia. 61.
Okay. North is like, what, 4 now?
Mm-hmm.
She gonna be a teenager.
If her wealth is an indicator.
Yeah.
Your wealth is an indicator of age.
Yep.
I mean, of whatever. But anyway, we done gone on too long. We gotta stop. We gotta end. But anything else on your mind?
I think I said plenty of this. This goes, see, you said I wasn't talking last week because I had Remy.
Mm-hmm.
I talked.
You talked about this Kardashian shit.
That means I can't for the next 2-3 episodes. I'm out.
If we compile everything we done talked about out of all these episodes, you done talked about the Kardashians more than you talked about anything.
Fuck. Next 2 or 3 until next year. So for the rest of this year, I'm not gonna talk about them.
Y'all hear that? I'm gonna hold her to it like a motherfucker.
For the rest of this year. So till 2017, no more Kardashian shit.
All right. Well, until we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.